Well, observers say that corruption in the health sector can mean the difference between life and death. In Liberia, a country that was affected by the Ebola epidemic, a local artist campaigning against corruption in all sectors of the government says that healthcare is most affected when politicians and healthcare administrators divert the few resources for personal use. VOA's Jackson Mvunganyi has our report.
The Atlantic Ocean provides a perfect backdrop on a windy day in Monrovia's Mamba Point. Dead water hyacinths litters the public beach, a reminder that the government is dealing with more pressing issues like wiping out the Ebola epidemic that killed over 4,500 people in this country of 6 million. The country is recovering from Ebola, but people say that Liberia still suffers from a different kind of sickness, endemic corruption. Worldwide governance indicators suggest that corruption remains a serious problem in Liberia. One of the people speaking out against corruption in this West African country is the local musician Henry Amaze Toe. He goes by the name Amaze. He describes his musical style as hip-hop, a local form of hip-hop fused with the local dialect.
I want my music to change this world, especially in Liberia where corruption has eaten us up. I want my voice to be heard out there and to change the whole corruption stuff and to minimize the corruption in Liberia.
He recently launched that song, Corruption, Corruption. It is produced in collaboration with Osiwa and Accountability Lab Liberia, two organizations spearheading a campaign they're calling #CorruptionMustGo. In the song, Amaze laments the effects of corruption on his society.
It's an everyday activity thing. It's something that affects the music, affects the school, affects our everyday activity. No medicine in the hospital, no books in the school, and even the music, it affects the music because our music don't go anywhere. Because I've seen so many corrupt officials embezzling money and going free.
Reports show that corruption in Liberia is pervasive and affects almost all public sectors. Perhaps why Ebola was able to ravage communities without much of a functional healthcare system.
Money that's supposed to go into health sectors, money that's supposed to pay schools, money that's supposed to build clinics, hospitals. It's been going in people's pockets, in family homes, while the whole nation suffered. So I feel very bad about that.
A Transparency International report on corruption in Africa says that Liberians pay more bribes than anywhere in Africa. Amaze says that corruption is bred by a broken down value system that starts with how children are raised and how they are taught to understand the value of honesty in public service.
We try to bring this message out that parents should be on alert, that you got to monitor the kids as they grow up, because if you allow corruption grows into them, if they go to higher ministry or higher entity, the whole country going to be corrupt.
The consequences of corruption on a health sector is a system that can't deliver effective health care to its people.
Most of our doctors are underpaid, the nurses are underpaid, and they don't do the proper job. For instance, if you got a patient and you rush to the hospital, they don't respond to that patient, maybe because that patient don't have sufficient money, so that patient ends up dying, so it affects the health system deeply.
Amaze is skeptical of the millions of dollars pledged by the international community to help Liberia in its recovery efforts.
I think it's a joke. That $1 billion is going to go in a few family pockets, believe me. We're never going to feel the effect of that.
The general perception is that politicians and administrators can siphon millions of dollars from health budgets, money that was meant to buy medicines and to pay for qualified health staff. For misusing or stealing funds can often derail efforts to defeat major health challenges such as the Ebola epidemic. For Voice of America, I'm Jackson Mvunganyi in Monrovia, Liberia.